Do you do tester jokes?
What would that be?
You know, when you're trying to test, you're just trying to see how open they are to a little bit of gentle prodding.
I do try and, believe it or not, I do try and read the music. Is that the term? I try and feel the vibe.
Yeah.
And it's awkward. Yeah, it can be awkward if you get it a bit wrong. I do find, I'm surprised sometimes how things that feel okay in my head don't sound as good coming out.
Right.
Sometimes I watch things back as well and I'm like, oh, gosh, what a bumptious little twat you are.
You can't think that. You're so good at it. Come on,
I wasn't talking about me. I was talking about you.
Oh.
I'm Louis Theroux, and I'm going to be on the Romesh Ranganathan show.
It's the Romesh Ranganathan show.
Oh, shut up, Romesh.
My guest today is one of Britain's most acclaimed documentary filmmakers. Since its breakthrough BBC series Weird Weekends over 30 years ago, he has mastered the art of embedding himself in fringe communities, from religious extremists, neo-Nazis and dangerous criminals to swingers, porn stars and polyamorous, resulting in some of the most eye-opening and enduring documentaries of the past 3 decades. Now his hit podcast is back.
There we go.
And he's delving into the world of toxic masculinity in his new Netflix show, Inside the Manosphere. It's the iconic, the legendary Louis Theroux, everybody.
Wow. Thank you very much. That was a great intro.
Genuine honour to have you on the show.
Thank you. That was impressive how well you read that.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Do you do much reading? I don't mean generally. I mean, like, you don't...
For the podcast, yeah, I do, and I find it difficult. We just got an auto cue, and I'm not as good as I would like to be. You did one stumble. I don't think the people at home will know that.
No, but thank you for mentioning it.
There was an early
stumble.
We went wrong, didn't it?
Yeah, it did go wrong. Yeah,
you fell off the bike.
Yeah, I did.
But only one. Whereas if you saw me, it can take a few run-throughs.
Yeah, but you're good at other stuff, aren't you?
Thank you. I am.
Now we've got a present for you.
Go on.
So this is Louis with a red bag here for audio listeners. That's the only type of listener. For listeners,
what have we got? Oh,
got some wrapping paper in here.
That's lovely.
It's an apron.
That's very nice. Very, very, very thoughtful.
Yeah.
What does it say on it?
It says,
live, laugh, lasagna. And I do like to make a lasagna.
Yeah. What do you think of that? Do you like that?
Brilliant. I absolutely love it. People at home, it's a largely black background with different slices and trays of lasagna. All of them unguent, dripping with delicious bolognese sauce. I'm painting a picture with words. Yeah. And I said I'd love to make lasagna. I love to cook. Cooking is my happy place, how I relax and unwind between my hit podcast recordings and my popular Netflix documentary filming escapades.
How...
Thank you very much for that.
You're very welcome. I hope you keep it.
I'm on my bike, so if it had been too big, if the gift had been... But that's perfect.
How good are you at making lasagna, Louis?
Not for me to say, is it? Is it?
Well, you can tell based on feedback. Like what's
the thing is I do love to make, especially a vegetarian lasagna. It takes a long time. Have you ever made one? Both take a long time.
Yeah. So
it's almost a case of the food itself is a byproduct of the time. You know, in other words, I'm doing it. I mean, I wouldn't say like if I didn't have a lasagna at the end of it, I'd still do it. I don't think I would. But the main pleasure for me is the act. It's like I was interviewing Willem Dafoe. He goes like, I don't watch the movies. You know, like he just wants to be on set having fun. Sure. And so...
the idea your family would walk into the kitchen, find you toiling, I can't wait to eat this. Oh, no, I'm not making anything. It's just a process. I like to do the layers. Do you know what I mean? It
would be a vision. Or just slopping it into the bin. They're like, you're not going to eat it? No. It'd be zen. No, that would be. Why would I do that? I think they're pretty good, but my family don't actually like lasagna that much. That's the issue. Shame. That's the problem.
Well, why do you like... Is it the layers?
I like the length of time it takes.
Yeah.
I like the different components. I like the fact there's 2 sauces, the layers. Sometimes if you're doing a veggie one, you roast the vegetables. That takes half an hour, 40 minutes. So it's kind of, you're ring fencing a chunk of time in your life, but also having made it, there's nothing else you really have to do. You stick it in the oven for half an hour to warm it up, maybe make a salad. but you can switch off during meal times. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like you can prep it ahead, you can serve it to large
It's
numbers of people.
meditative.
It's meditative doing it, and then having done it, the work is done, and you can relax if you're having friends over, family, and it's also a little bit of what's the term on Bake Off? What do they say? It's your
Signature dish.
It's the last one.
Showstopper.
It's your showstopper.
Is lasagna a showstopper?
I think it can be if it comes out and it.
You have to really fancy it up, don't you?
Well, maybe it's not a showstopper. But it comes out with a sense of like, da-da. You're
Right,
not
yeah,
assembling
of course,
it. It's a single physical unit.
Yeah, no, yeah, absolutely.
Come on.
That's
It's
true
not
of a lot of
showstopper.
things, though.
No, but it wouldn't be true
No, but a
of...
showstopper is like where they make like Godzilla out of a salted caramel cookie. Do you know what I mean? It's not a lasagna.
It's not that. It obviously isn't that. No, but it is in a... It is a showstopper.
Okay.
No, no, it isn't. But it isn't like making roasting a chicken or putting out some curries or a
I get
tagine
you.
where
I
you're
get
like,
you.
here's the rice and here's the coriander.
No, I understand.
Just
yeah.
there.
It's a
Boom.
single unit. Yeah, I get you. Now, we're all massive fans of yours.
Thank
Huge
you.
fans.
Appreciate that.
Huge fans. And actually, you are a blessing and a curse in a way, because everything you do is so good. But then whenever I do like a travel doc or something, it's actually there's a genuine quote in a Daily Mail review of one of my documentaries. As you watch Romesh travelling across this country, you find yourself wishing it was Louis Theroux instead.
Really?
Yeah. That's a direct quote.
I love that. Can you send me the review?
Yeah, I can do, yeah.
There should be more of that.
Yeah.
It's funny how we're all in our bubbles, aren't we? I
Yeah.
probably could find one where they say, "Oh, Romesh would have done that."
I don't think you would.
No, I don't think I can. No, but there's always something. I remember early on, I got my start working for Michael Moore, American documentary maker. He had a show called TV Nation. It was picked up by the BBC. And there I was, like skinny little beanpole student starting out in TV, 1994. I was 23 years old. Anyway, when I finally got my own show, Weird Weekends, 3 years later, and I went, your first project, it's on TV, and you rush to look at the reviews or the comments. And I remember seeing something, it was the early days of the internet, but I found a comment online, and they were like, there's some good things and bad things. It's like, what's it like compared with Michael Moore? He says, oh, come on. They're not even in the same league. Michael Moore's light years ahead, or something like that. Which, by the way, is a reasonable comment, but it did hurt. It's like, not even in the same league. So I can relate to your fragility.
Thank you. I mean, I've sort of made my peace with it, but
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell you.
I appreciate that.
You're sort of, I don't know how to describe this. Your on-camera vibe.
Mm-hmm. You can say persona.
Your on-camera persona.
Were you resisting saying persona?
Yeah, I
It
was
felt like
actually.
you were.
Well, because I feel like I'm watching you. But
Yeah.
then even now, when
Or
we're
maybe you meant vibe. Did you mean vibe? I only say because sometimes people go, is it rude to say persona because it implies, a lack
it
of
is
honesty?
Well, that's what I mean. That's why I slightly was resistant saying it, because it suggests that you're not being Louis Theroux when you're. But you
Yeah.
are, aren't you?
I think I am, yeah. But I definitely am also trying to do a job, and the job entails behaving in a different way than I would in my normal life.
For example, I'd say when you're going into, we'll talk about this more, but when you're interviewing HS in your Manosphere doc,
HStikkytokky.
yeah, you're not the same. The way you've come in here and chatted to me is not the same as how you went into his place and started talking to him, is it? You're giving him more space to kind of.
Of course, yeah, because I'm trying, as you say, I'm trying to give him a bit of space, and I'm attempting to be friendly, charming, respectful, but also journalistic, appropriately passive. Like it's not my performance that we're interested in, right? My performance, such as it is only a way of trying to elicit something interesting from him or from between us. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I can't be the biggest thing in the room. I know it's an odd phrase, but
Yeah.
that's what I just said.
How did you find that style of doing it?
Which do you mean the style of him filming with me, or like? Because I think
I mean, you're kind of.
of that project in particular.
No, generally.
in life.
I don't want to be reductive over what you do, but
Please, you can. I don't mind if you're feeling that.
Well, you
What would be the reductive thing to say?
Well, I don't know. I don't think I'm going to be reductive, but I'm about to try and summarise what you do. I sort of,
Okay, do it. Oh my God, pressure.
Well,
it's not that. It's not that.
I think you ask very insightful questions, and then you know exactly how much space to give them in order to answer that, and then you will prod. Your instincts to prod are amazing, actually, in terms of you seem to you've mastered knowing when to leave them, and then they'll say something else which is revealing, and then you know when to sort of give another bit of stimulus. I think that is what you're really good at doing. Was that always the intention, or did that evolve, or what was the journey of that?
The first thing that I'm struck by I'm thinking about is that actually, as much as it might look, it does look, when I look at it back, somewhat haphazard, and a little bit grabbed. The camera work is all on the shoulder. It's the situations unfold in a slightly messy verite style, right? And I'm, jump cuts or whatever, or strange changes of perspective. But actually, a lot of work goes into putting it together, and a part of that work is attempting to make my position in the film kind of reasonable, coherent, cogent. Does that make sense? So there's a sense in which the me you see on screen is a construct I'm not trying to be pretentious, but a construct created by a team of people, including the director, the editor, the producer, the exec, and myself. In terms of so you're seeing, and that's the best. So what you see is the best we can do as well. Like if you look at him, you're like, he's a bit of a dick. You're like, a lot of work has gone into making me not look like too much of a dick. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which may shock some people, but I think for me, it goes back to the idea that I was interested in exploring people who were in some way taboo, who were outside the mainstream, whose beliefs were extreme, and that part of that, without going too deep into my psychology, like it's obviously something to do with my need to be around. Oh, not need, but that's what I enjoy, is like that experience of being with the other. What that says, being with people who are somehow judged by the world, and sort of measuring myself against them. But there was never really the case that I thought, if I just leave long pauses, then it'll be really good. You know what I mean? It was never that.
Yeah.
And in fact, in general, I am trying to have a consistent take on something. Like I'm trying to figure out where are the soft bits, metaphorically, like where are the tender spots in their armor or in their worldview. And I keep kind of pressing on them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And have you ever, when somebody says something that you find questionable, you're not front-footed about you just gently present a counter argument.
Yeah. Okay. So that's true. I think I've become a little more robust in some of my inquisitorial style. Early on, I was just so nervous, having been given a shot at being a TV presenter and feeling so underqualified, that I was just like, I just need to get in there and get them to like me. Even though they'd be extremists or members of cults, I'd be like, I just need to get in there and... So when is the spaceship landing? Literally, like, and at what time? And will the aliens look like humans? And I just wanted to fly under the radar and kind of. But increasingly, I'd be a bit more, not exactly knock it off, but what's your evidence? And in this setting, like, so for example, in the Manosphere, it's clearly part of my job to try and rebut the arguments and display the ways in which what they do is antisocial or toxic or whatever. But I can't, I'm always nervous of losing the access or...
Well, that's what I wondered
going
about.
South too early on. It's a very finely balanced thing, because if on day one, I interviewed Joe Exotic, right? And he was someone who's, your point about tester questions, like he was someone who's very, very sensitive. And early on I thought, well, this was 2011, 10 years before the Tiger King, and I was the first camera team that went there. Mine was the first team, and I thought, oh, he's going to be outlandish, and he had two boyfriends at the time, and he had like 400 tigers, and then within a few minutes of talking to him, and I was like, because the key question there is like, how much do you think the tigers like being in a tiny cage for their entire lives, right? Yeah. Brackets, probably not that much, right? I'm answering my own question. Although there's more that could be said about that. He claimed that they liked it. I don't know. I don't think so. But in asking the question, it was like, oh, I could already tell it bothered him. The question bothered him. And then I had to slightly dial it down a bit. Right. So you're sort of having to feel the vibe and see how much you can say how early.
But then if they're really super sensitive, then it's then difficult to make a show, isn't it?
Yes, I've had that.
Right.
I filmed well, it was never completed, but I began filming a documentary with Ike Turner, who was married to Tina Turner and was, in fact, a legend in his own right musically. The first ever rock and roll record was by Ike Turner, 1955, I think. And but he's more famous, or became more famous, for his abusive behavior in his relationship with Tina, and they made a movie out of it called What's Love Got to Do with It? And he was played by Lawrence Fishburne. Have you ever seen it?
No, I've not seen it.
It's actually worth a watch. Okay. But his behavior is horrific to observe. Anyway, I thought, well, that's interesting to see a guy. The term cancelled wasn't really used then, but he'd basically been mega cancelled. And I thought it'd be interesting to be around with him. And then within a few hours of being with him, I realized, oh, he can't handle any questions about, not only about was he abusive, but even about Tina. Tina wasn't a subject that could easily be brought up.
Oh, really?
But we filmed 3 or 4 days, and then we pulled the plug because he just couldn't handle.
So what would he do?
Anything relevant to what the audience was expecting. He would. Okay, I said something like, he handed out these leaflets. And they said they had a picture of him, and it would say, "I still like Ike," and he'd sign them. So if anyone recognized him near where he lived in San Diego, he'd give them one. So I thought, okay, maybe this is my opening. And I said, "Why do they say I still like Ike?"
Yeah. Reasonable question.
Yeah. He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, why did it sounds a little defensive? Like, is that because of everything that was?" That took place between you and Tina. Like, so very hesitant kind of and gentle approach to the issue. And then on the, a few minutes later on the radio mics, our sound recordist picked something. He says, I think you should know he just called his agent and said one more bullshit question like that and I'm out of here. Yeah. It was that whole thing. You know this from making TV, right? Like sometimes you find out from the sound recorders, they overhear the person say, like, that fucking English guy's a fucking asshole. And you're like, ow, that hurts. I thought it was going all right. I didn't say that. I have had that from other people, like fucking English asshole. Fucking whip that lamb is asshole. And you're like, whoa. No, it doesn't happen that often. And so after that, I realized, the scary thing there was that I'd had no real inkling from Ike that he was as upset as he was. So he was very hard to read. Yeah. In its own weird way, it became an insight into his power as well, because he was exquisitely attuned to body language or behavior. Like you could see how he exacted a kind of control over people through his sensitivity. Many cult leaders in general, you think of them as being robust narcissists, but in fact, they notice everything. They're constantly reading the room to see like what's coming from where, and that's how they affect their kind of social control.
Why do people still? Because when you started doing it, people, you not an unknown quantity, but people don't know what you're going to do.
I would say I was unknown.
Yeah, so definitely. Now it must be difficult, right? I'm like, for example, we'll talk about Inside the Manosphere in more detail, but that in principle, I was surprised that they agreed. I was slightly surprised that they agreed to do a documentary with you because you talk about it in the actual doc that they could be doing a hit piece. Yeah, there's a downside. Yeah.
Here's the thing: all of these approaches for access have positives and negatives for them. And by the way, like I don't doubt that I'll be criticised from people in the manosphere who say you made us look like a bunch of idiots, or tried to. But I think I'll also be criticised by people outside the manosphere saying, why are you giving these people a platform? Why are you giving them more access to a huge platform like Netflix? So that's part of the calculus, clearly, is if the question is why would they agree, they'd agree because they're looking for reach, or they haven't Googled me. That can't be discounted.
Yeah.
In fact, our opening sequence is Sneeko, one of the biggest figures in the space.
Yeah, he's
Googling
asking
me
who
a few
you
hours
are.
later, and then he sees that I've made like 100 documentaries on the Google homepage, and you just see him live on stream going, "Oh shit!"
It's the bit where all of the tiles come up
Yeah.
and it just goes.
Yeah, which. I liked that. It's like I thought he was just a random, and he's actually made like 50 or 60 different films. But so there's that. But then the other part of it is people Googling me and thinking, do you know what? Read the Wikipedia page. Do you know what? This might be okay. This might be okay. And he's going to throw some shade. When I interviewed, one of them was Justin Waller, and at the end of it, he goes, I think he said something. Justin Waller's he's a guy, but he's in one-way monogamy, a term they use a lot, which is the men can have sex with relationships with anyone they want while being married, or in a single committed relationship with a woman who can't have sex with anyone else. They call it one-way monogamy. In fact, his wife says she's fine with it. But he said, like at the end of our film, we had shot 2 or 3 days with him, and at the end he goes like, I know you're gonna make me look like an asshole, or something like that. I know you're gonna skin me alive in your show, and that's fine. You do whatever you want with me, because I've enjoyed it so much. Something like that.
Really?
Yeah. He was just saying, like, whatever you want to do is fine. I'm so relaxed about it.
I find that incredible.
I know, but in a way, it was kind of. Maybe it was. After I was like, "Whoa, that was confusing." But then, I thought maybe that's like an alpha maneuver. Like nothing you can do touches me.
Nothing. You're so far away from somebody that I care about. Maybe, I don't know.
It didn't feel unfriendly.
Right.
It felt more. I don't know. Quite know what it was. I think he was trying to be gracious, but then also it was slightly a power move, because obviously the biggest guy in the space. In that whole manosphere community is Andrew Tate. And when we started on it, I thought, we might get Andrew Tate. And over the year of filming, I was messaging Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate quite a lot, back and forth. And he was like, maybe I'm going to do it if you pay me. And I said, we're not going to pay you. He said, well, why would I talk to you? You're not relevant anymore. And then he sent me they can do those Google graphs, and they show how much you've been Googled over like 4 or 5 years. And he goes, and there was like I think it was a blue line. It was up here, quite high. And then there was this tiny little flat red line at the bottom. It goes like, I'm blue, you're red. I was like barely registering. No one's been Googling me.
But that might be because they already know who you are.
Maybe.
I mean, it could be the opposite is true.
Maybe.
A lot of people are Googling who the fuck you are, mate.
At the very end, I don't know if he had, at the very end, through some weird glitch, my line went above his. So I screenshot and circled that, and I said, I'm literally more relevant than you are. I felt pretty gangster.
That's good. Can I tell you this Inside the Manosphere, I first found out about this from the other end of it, which was HStikkytokky's post about it, right? So,
right. Yeah.
So when
like a lot of people.
Yeah, because I had.
You must have a young algorithm.
I must. Well, I've got 3 boys.
Right.
They are across. HStikkytokky's your Ed Matthews.
How old are your boys?
16, 14 and 11.
So I've got 18, 20 and 11.
Right.
So similar age slice.
So I start seeing you in the background of HStikkytokky videos.
It's going to be painful. And did your kids know who I was?
Yes.
And they're like, why is Louis getting owned by HS?
Well, the truth is, my kids aren't actually...
Because that's what mine said.
Right, okay.
You say Louis, they said Dad. So why, Dad, why were you getting owned by HS?
Well, it was... I actually, to be honest with you, I was slightly worried for you.
Yeah. Because
I thought this is the first time that Louis is doing something where they're just going to document the other... They are just going to... you're normally talking to people who aren't delivering their side of it in that way.
Yeah.
And he is filming you filming.
Yes,
right?
he was.
And so there was. I was looking at the comments, and there's lots of comments about. Well, you're showing the real story here. I can't wait to see how they cut this up to make you look terrible, and all of this. And first of all, I was amazed that you were so calm about that happening. Because bearing in mind that Netflix are paying loads of money for this.
I know.
Do you
You
know
were
what I
so
mean?
calm when you were being eviscerated live on stream. Wasn't it painful having your ass handed to you on a plate like that? I loved how relaxed you seemed. That's a very... What is the term? Like backhanded compliment?
No, but what I mean is you seemed.
No, I appreciate
you
that.
Seemed you seemed completely unflappable, right? And actually, I thought that was very. I think it was really disarming because I think they wanted to. I think a lot of it they wanted to be like a mic drop, like got cameras on you now. How do you feel? And sort of, and you didn't. I don't think you gave them what they wanted.
Well, I've heard mixed reports on that. I think it was. It's hard to say. I wouldn't say I completely. There were several encounters. There was a couple. I dropped my kids off at Flip Out. This is going somewhere, and in Brent Cross. And one of the guys behind the desk said, "I saw you on HS's thing. Yeah, you got completely owned." I was like, "Okay, but don't worry. You learn from it, and you'll fight again." I'm like, "All right, thank you." I was like, "That's about as bad." That's feedback about as bad as you can imagine.
Did that make you nervous at all?
Confused, and I thought, well, but then truthfully, they've only seen the HS stream. I don't even know if you've seen this whole HS stream, but I went into doing the film partly.
Yeah, what's the reason?
Partly because of the cultural relevance or the fact that there's so much of this content and how influential it is, but also I thought it'll be an opportunity to, I specialize in getting out of my depth. That I sort of think that where I'm uncomfortable is probably where I need to be. And sometimes that's some sense of physical danger, like in a prison or in a high crime area with gangs. But sometimes it's more of the danger of being in some way exposed, the danger of being tailed or harassed. Like I made a film about Scientology. Partly I did that because they've specialize in coming after you and filming you. They don't like journalists, and so they'll come out and film you. And I thought that'll create an interest, because it's in the end, like a good documentary for my tastes often hinges on moments of conflict and moments of tension. So how do you make that? How do you actually create tension short of running up and punching someone, right? Which probably YouTubers sometimes do. And so for me, this felt like, oh, well, they'll document me and then we'll have this layer of the encounters themselves. They'll be filming me. That's kind of weird and interesting. And then that will go viral maybe. And so that was kind of baked into the concept. I know that there's times when I didn't get it. Like, I definitely think I could have improved. It's hard. Like, yeah, I do rely on editing. So if there's a complete stream, you can choose bits where I look like a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And also it was an education in how moments taken out of context can go viral and you can be made to look a certain way. But in the end, like, if I zoom out, that's what's so weird and interesting about the whole media culture we inhabit now, isn't it? That it's no longer, I don't need to tell you this, like the top-down sort of BBC and ITV own the airwaves, where you could go and basically what you said in your report, whether or not it was truthful, would go largely unchallenged because no one else had a platform. We're now in a world where it's all been flattened, and there's a part of that that's scary, but there's a part of that that's kind of interesting and kind of
quite
exciting.
Yeah.
So I was into that, and I was into the idea that actually I don't mind having my workings exposed, and whether or not how that goes down with people, I don't know. I did it one other time, which was I made a film called Extreme and Online that was about far-right influencers in America, and they filmed as well. There was some live streaming. So I had a little foretaste.
So there was live streaming in that? Okay.
I had a foretaste of it in that one, and I thought, well, that was all right. I wouldn't want to be like that the whole time, though. Do you know what I mean? If everything you did... Like, imagine if you were interviewing me and said, Romesh, love your stuff. I mean, just for my own protection, I will be filming everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I guess, having said that, we could have done this as a content share.
That would have been so good. I mean, it would benefit me more than you. But what made you decide to go into that world in the first place? Because as a father of three boys...
Yeah.
you talk about Andrew Tate, you talk about HStikkytokky, all of these people, I've not deep dived into it in the way that you have, but my main concerns are, one, the way that women are spoken about, and the attitudes and what it means to be a male growing up. I found it frightening that people that young had those attitudes, that I found that upsetting, actually. And I sort of thought my kids are being exposed to that. And then the other thing I find really tricky with all those guys is the idea that material wealth is the be-all and end-all of what you achieve in life. And I don't want my kids to have that message. And it's not just, I know you talked to a few people like that, but it seems to be just accepted by that generation, that if you've got a nice car and if you've got and you go, your life can be like mine. All of that I find quite frightening. Were those the drivers behind you getting
very
into
much so, very much so. And I've joked that this subject is like the final boss of subjects for me, because it combines so many things that I've seen in other worlds, in other films that I've done, whether it's homophobia, misogyny, racism, porn, because they're selling adult content. A lot of them, a lot of the guys are a gateway to OnlyFans subscriptions. So that was kind of the impulse and the idea of making a film that I thought would be interesting and revealing. But I think in terms of what is troubling, because there's two ways of slicing it. It's like, what's troubling, and then what parts of the culture does it seem to be speaking to? Like, what part of it is resonating with people? But in terms of the misogyny, is obviously the front burner issue, the one that is most immediately concerning. And there's absolutely no excusing it. It's horrific, and it's becoming more and more weird, almost like one-upmanship. I don't think women should drive. I don't think they should vote. Well, I think they should be. That kind of. It's almost too kind to say it's outdated. Like, it sort of feels like it's become a sort of performative misogyny of creating outrage. But the crazy thing is that's almost the window dressing for a sales pitch. And that they go viral exploiting algorithms online that thrive on divisive content. Yeah. And then it becomes an upsell for a rubbish subscription to an online university or some crypto scam or an FX trading platform. The other part, though, is, if we're going to be really frank, because you mentioned materialism, and I know you're a fan of hip hop. Like, I would sometimes get this dissonance of, like, there's aspects of hip hop culture that it's clearly, in certain respects, reflecting. I've always been a fan of, like, the braggadociousness of hip hop and the displays of, and part of that has been like, look at my swag, which I almost took as a commentary on lack of wealth, like the idea, like, we've come from difficult or deprived upbringings.
I agree. I think that, like, when there's sort of that sort of look, there's a sneery attitude to people showing off their wealth, and often the people that are doing that what they're displaying actually is how they've overcome their initial conditions and it's social movement or whatever. Yeah. And so I do respect that, but I don't want my I don't.
Well, when it becomes the overculture, where it becomes like part of this abiding concern that we're all supposed to aspire to, as opposed to a commentary on a certain part of life, then it is depressing. So that's why I've been modelling ostentatious beta behaviour with my. Do you rock an F91W watch? That's my Casio. I've got 3 of those.
They're a good watch for stand-up, actually.
I bet. Because you got a timer on there? Yeah. You don't want to be on there any longer than you have to.
I don't, no. I personally don't.
It's difficult, though, isn't it? When you've got kids and they're like, why have you got such a crap car? And you're like, well, the car does the job. And like, couldn't we have like a more swaggy car?
Your kids say that to you?
Yeah. I don't. Not on a regular basis, but that comment has been made. Why is our car so shit?
Yeah. And what's your response to that?
We're not those people. We're not people who be like, oh, look at that car. I mean, I don't know. That's the best I've got. If there's a better answer, then I'll be all
We're not those people.
We're not those people who've got big cars that are flash. Actually, the car is quite big. It's like shall I get specific?
Please.
It's a Seat Alhambra.
That is a nice car.
It's basically like a minicab car.
It's a really nice car. I like it. I do. It's a
I
good
like
car.
it. I like it.
Yeah. And
But
you
no
should.
one whistles and goes, no one wolf whistles and go, wow, look at that.
But nobody
look at
does that
that
to any
whip.
car, do they?
No one's going to say, look at that whip.
I don't think anybody
What was
says
it?
look
What
at
was
that
the
whip, do
whip?
they?
It was a German whip.
Yeah.
I think it was a Spanish whip.
Which part of Europe does that whip come from?
Yeah. Do people still say whip?
Yeah, they do, yeah. But I don't think it takes a lot to make somebody comment, like actually verbally
Look at
comment
that
on a whip.
kettle.
Yeah, good.
Right, two middle-aged men using their 3 words of hip-hop slang.
But do you with HS? Let's start. You talk to HS first, right?
Yeah. Actually, well, let's say yes.
Well, who was it you talked to before that?
Well, it's we didn't film him first. The first filming we did was,
but in the documentary, he appears
is first. Yeah.
So you go in and talk to him, and he's the one I was him and Ed Matthews are the ones that I was most familiar with, and
Ed Matthews is his
mates.
buddy.
Yeah.
Who's got a sort of jester clown energy.
Yeah.
Have you heard this term Jestermaxxing?
No.
Do you know that term, anyone? That's the new term. They say clavicular's Jestermaxxing. But then they're saying, I'm Jestermaxxing the manosphere, and I like that. You know maxing. Everything's being maxed now.
Yeah.
Looks maxing. What are the other maxings?
I don't know. Guys, can we look up what the other maxings are,
Looks
please?
maxing. Is anything you max, probably clothes maxing, maybe. But business maxing, I don't know. I'm making them up now. But Jestermaxxing, I think, is when you're just making fun of something to the extreme.
Yeah. And Ed Matthews does that.
Yeah, I think he does. I don't know. Maybe he does. I think he has got that energy.
I mean, he inspired your initial use of Jestermaxxing, but you're not sure.
I think I went down a rabbit hole there. I think someone said I was Jestermaxxing. I think he has got jester energy.
Right. Okay.
He's more of a sort of clown.
Did you like HStikkytokky?
I wouldn't say I disliked him.
Yeah.
I know, like, that sounds like, what are you trying to say, Louis? Like, I think a lot about these things, probably too much. I think actually I have my reactions in that journalistic sphere are more complicated than I like him or I didn't like him. You know what I mean? I think, sorry to be really cheese pairing, but it's like, yeah, there's parts of him I liked and there's parts I didn't like, if I'm honest.
Yeah. But is there any part of it that, because when he was talking to you about, I think it's interesting, a lot of people won't know how these guys make money, and actually, as you said, it's sort of it's a fringe thing to get interest in you in order that you can sell this whatever package.
They go
it is,
viral.
right?
They get paid by platforms to stream. Sometimes they'll have deals with the platform. Sometimes they'll get advertising or promotional stuff. So they get money like that. The more people they have online at any one time, live streaming, the more money they'll get. So there's this pressure on to keep the audience engaged at all times, leading them to sometimes do kind of fairly horrific things. And then they also try and upsell their audience by getting them to subscribe to various products, fitness plans, platforms for trading currency, that kind of thing.
And is there any part of you that kind of, there's a bit where you're talking to him and he's talking about being a salesman and...
Yeah, he says it's all sales.
Yeah, it's all sales. Was there any part of you that, I mean, there is an argument that he's sort of quite impressive that he's managed to find a way to make money, right? Coming from quite humble beginnings, I guess.
I'd buy that. Like, from all the work I've done, like, I've tried always to take an approach of resisting binary thinking on things like, that person's horrific. Sometimes it's irrelevant. Like, Hitler was nice to his dog. Whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't really mean much. But in other contexts where you think, well, there are pros and cons to people's life, like, truthfully, in the manosphere, the fitness advice is usually, or certainly the idea, like, get to the gym. If you're feeling down, don't feel sorry for yourself. Go and work out.
Yeah.
Like, I believe that.
Yeah.
That's why I do a Joe Wicks workout most days. But Joe Wicks isn't saying women shouldn't be allowed to drive, right? So you don't. He
thinks it.
It's not. He might think it. Yeah. I don't know. You may know Joe better than me. He does the workouts with his wife, Rosie.
Yeah. Resentfully.
She sometimes she closes her eyes and you can say "Help me" written on her eyelids. No, that's a joke. I think they've got a good relationship.
Yeah,
and,
they're fine. They seem to be fine.
But the point being, so there's a lot of good content, and no one's got a problem with the good content.
No.
You know what I mean? And actually, yeah, he's hardworking. That's valid. He obviously, he looks good. He's got charisma. He's a talented broadcaster. I'm talking about HS now. Joe Wicks is as well. So it's like, yeah, I can acknowledge all of those things.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with any of those things.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's got his start in life is interesting. Like his dad is rugby international, or was, of Nigerian heritage, but wasn't around.
No.
Didn't come and see the family. His mum, hardworking, I think Irish heritage, single mum, raising the family. I think her parents were involved, but he was a single, just basically the two of them largely in the nuclear family. And he went to a private school. Like his mum earned enough money, or they got money and a scholarship, so he had a good education. So it's complicated, and yeah, there's a real work ethic there. But then, how meaningful is it to have a good work ethic if you're just spending hours and hours spewing like offensive pickup lines to girls on the beachfront in Marbella?
Yeah.
You're like, well, you work really hard spouting that abuse, so I give you credit for that. Do you know what I mean?
No, that's a fair point. Did you come away from that feeling less or more worried about that whole manosphere kind of phenomenon?
Because I'd sort of come to it via my kids somewhat, it wasn't massively the case that I thought, oh my God, this is far worse than I imagined. It's definitely, I think I just wanted to bring the news to the wider world. In fact, the people who've seen the film, a few of them have been like, wow, that was horrific. That was really upsetting. And I was a bit surprised by the reaction. I thought like, well, it is shocking and troubling and also entertaining and at times quite funny. So it wasn't as though the experience of making it, I think I guess I'm going to add one thing, which is to see how my narrative and my presentation, the way in which I went viral in ways that were out of control and kind of, I mean, to your point that you made earlier, like Louis looked like he was genuinely, whatever it was you said, like taken out of his comfort zone or being exposed in some way in a way that could be troubling or not dangerous. Obviously,
well, there's some people saying you've ended Louis Theroux. That comment was being made because it's like this guy's been relying on the other side not being.
Didn't say that.
But they were saying, this guy's always been, he's always had the benefit of an edit, and now finally you found a way to unmask this guy. This is it,
I think that part of it maybe was salutary, and and helpful. And I think actually that was the education for me, was to see how much the narrative is up for grabs now. Yeah, but so that I don't know. Yeah, but maybe that for me that was personally uncomfortable, but also sort of revelatory to experience.
But you found it worrying?
Yeah, of course. I've got kids, yeah. It's very worrying.
Yeah, and well done for doing it. We've got a question from my mother now.
Okay.
How do you feel about that as an item?
Good, yeah.
I mean, we'll talk about your podcast in a minute, but you actually rely on your ability to interview, don't you?
I do my best.
Yeah. Whereas we have to have sort of bells and whistles.
Why not?
We give a gift. There's stuff on the shelves.
Is there a game coming up as well?
There is a game. Okay, I don't know what this question is going to be.
Hi, Louis. This is Shanthi. It's Romesh's mom. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I don't think Romesh will be able to do the documentaries you do. How does your family feel about you filming with extreme and sometimes dangerous people? I just wonder, when were you so scared during filming? Love to know that.
Yeah.
And
how many questions
have
is
a
this?
wonderful day.
Okay.
Lots of love, Shanthi.
Okay, bloody hell, that's like the end of Lord of the Rings. When is it going to finish?
There's actually still 30 seconds left on this clip, genuinely.
No, there isn't.
Yeah, there is.
Are you going to say something else?
No, I think she just didn't hang up.
Okay, great. So, Louis...
She always gets a dig in, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Do you ask her to say something?
No.
Did she get that's part of the brand? That's good branding.
Yeah, it is. It's It's a lot like your persona.
Very much so.
No, she does. I do think she. Well, everything she does is kind of. It comes from truth. So she's embellishing.
What did she say? She said, "I don't think
Romesh could do the documentaries like you do." That's true. She doesn't. She does think that. You know, that's not made up. She doesn't think I could do the documentaries like you do.
You might have to now that I've been ended.
But how nervous do you get about being around scary people? And how do your family feel about it?
My family is alarmingly relaxed. It was one of the things I noticed early on when I was in a relationship with my wife, going back, we've been together 20 years, but 23. And I remember I was going to a skinhead for work, skinhead music festival.
Yeah.
And I was quite...
When work meets hobby.
Big time. It was perfect alignment. I was like, I'm going anyway.
Yeah.
Our extreme hate playing. Oh, never mind. They do have names like that. Yeah. They call it hate core music.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, like, it's one of those things where it's on the calendar, you know, like a flu jab. You're like, oh, God, do that on Wednesday. Oh, and then I've got the Skinhead Hate Core Music Festival. You know, it's like it just preys on your mind a bit. And I remember telling my then girlfriend, now wife, and she was just completely relaxed about it.
Right.
She doesn't worry about, I mean, or she does a good job of hiding it, which I, in a way, maybe I appreciate that. Maybe I don't. I haven't figured out how I feel about them. But I think they sort of switch off work Louis and home Louis.
Yeah.
Dad, husband. They're not over interested. I don't mean that as a critic. They are not especially invested in any particular way, as far as I can tell, in my work and how it's going.
No, mine either.
That's probably quite healthy and normal.
I think that's sensible. Yeah. And I think if they were, I think that's a problem.
Yeah. How did it go with HS, Dad? Did you get what you needed? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not that.
Doesn't happen.
Unless it's in their feed and they're like, oh, you got cooked.
Yeah. Were they upset about you getting cooked?
They were actually pleasingly understanding about me being lightly flambéed. I don't endorse cooked.
Mm.
It was a cook-off, wasn't it, really? It was a great internet bake-off.
Yeah.
I think they feel... I think they'd worry if I was completely cooked. Do you know what I mean? If I'd been on stream with my trousers metaphorically down, which I contend I wasn't.
No, but there's a cost to them, isn't there? Like socially, I mean.
The biggest thing I imagine for them socially was when Jiggle Jiggle went viral.
Yeah,
and then they're on TikTok. This is like 5 years ago, and my rap track is all over their favorite platform, and it's not got, from so far as they can see, any musical value.
Sure.
They're confused.
No, I understand.
By whatever irony, and I think it wasn't so much.
There's no reason they should be.
It wasn't
slaps.
It wasn't like it was horrific, but I think it was for the youngest one, who was then probably 6 or 7. It was, I suspect, one of the best things that's ever happened. Like, his dad is doing this track that all his kids are grooving and dancing to, and then for the middle one, I think it was a bit like, what the hell is this? Well, I don't get it. My dad's a writer, right? And when I grew up, he had a profile. It was more of a literary profile because he's, writing travel books, novels. And I remember reading his books or hearing about him or seeing him through the lens of what other people thought of him and feeling like, I don't know who that guy is. Like, he looks a bit like my dad, sounds a bit like, but that's not the person I know as my dad. So I imagine with them, it's a little bit like that. Maybe even more so.
How did you feel about Jiggle Jiggle?
I felt good about it. Did you not?
Did I not feel good about it? About you?
Yeah. Did you feel okay with it?
I felt great. Yeah. It's happy for you. I mean, you're a genuine bona fide hip hop fan, aren't you? So
yes.
If that was somebody that didn't have a love,
Michael Ball,
I would be less comfortable with that.
I have to I always give props to Reese and Bigelow, my co-writers from Jackson, Mississippi, and they get royalties from it as well.
Yeah.
It was strange, obviously. No one thought that was like a credible hip-hop track. It wasn't that. It was many things, but I don't think it was a bid to pass myself off as a rap figure of any importance.
Did you consider? Have you considered an album?
No, and I only pause because
Because you are.
because I have.
Yeah.
You saw through me.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't tricky. No,
Well-
what's the deal? You've got an album.
It's at an early stage, and I don't like to talk too much about it.
Okay.
But no, I haven't.
Okay. Fine.
But I did get approached. My label sent me. I like saying that. You know, it's a gold record. I've got a gold record.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I know.
It's amazing.
Does it feel wrong? No.
Yeah.
Feels right to
No,
me.
no, you're right. It feels
It's
right.
amazing how quickly you get used to. You know what I mean? Like, I deserve this. Do you know what I mean? It's extraordinary
Yeah.
illustration of the corruption of power and
Oh, it's horrible.
you know,
when
you
it
feel
starts to
like,
affect
people are
you.
like, how could Saddam Hussein feed those people to lions and rejoice and hear their blood curdling? I don't understand. Like, I understand. You're thinking, what's the connection? It's a thin end of the wedge. You get something, you're like, I deserve it. I deserve a gold record. I deserve to see. I know you deserve sadism. Maybe it's not the best metaphor, but the point is that you get used to, you get something wonderful, and for a while that was incredible, and then after a while, and someone goes like, "You've got that," and you go, "How dare you? Why are you surprised?" My label said to me, because they'd heard, I interviewed Ed Sheeran on my award-winning. Actually, I don't think we've got any awards, but on my award-nominated podcast, Ed Sheeran. He'd be a good guest for you. Have you had him on?
No.
Oh.
He wouldn't come on this.
Oh.
That was horrible. That was the most front-footedly horrible I think I've seen you be.
That was my tester. So now I'll pull back a bit.
Yeah, go on. So you had Ed Sheeran on.
And I think I was singing one of his songs.
Yeah.
And then in the intro, and I made a joke, and I mangled it so badly. And I said, and that will be on my soon to forthcoming album covers. And then my label got in touch and said, "Are you serious about the covers album? Because we're here, you know, we're ready to do it. We'd love to keep going, get another project." And I was like, no, that was a joke.
Now let's talk about your podcast, the Louis Theroux podcast. Series 7 out now.
Yes. Did you think a long time before you went with the Romesh Ranganathan show? Like, because obviously people joke about how long did that take you to think of? You know,
The honest truth of it is that we don't know that it's always going to be.
That's
this.
a placeholder.
It's we wanted it to be loose enough to, in the same way that you name a stand-up show before you've written it. You know, why don't we just call it this?
Do you not name a stand-up show before you've written it?
You do name it before you've written it.
You do.
So the point is like, let's make it vague enough.
Yeah. See what it is.
If we called it the Romesh Ranganathan podcast, it would still be a podcast. But then if we started going and doing like, you know, random mad shit, you know, it might. This is like a catch-all, you know.
It works.
Thanks. The Louis Theroux podcast works.
It's good. I think that's the name. I think we're going to stick with it. Yeah, season 7's out. Good guests.
What made you decide to start a podcast?
Lockdown
Right.
is the actual real answer.
Thank you for being honest.
Yeah, I was about to do filming. It was March 6 years ago, and all the flights were cancelled. I just started a production company. We had no business. There was no work because no one could go anywhere. And so I don't know if we got in touch with the BBC or the other way around, but a podcast was really the only thing available to make at that point, with literally in the first couple of weeks of the pandemic. And I think it had been suggested once or twice before that, and I thought, well, there's so many podcasts.
Yeah.
And that was then.
Now it's a shit show.
Now
isn't
it's
it?
an absolute
shit show.
blizzard.
Yeah.
Why did you start one?
Something to do, isn't it? It's
Everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
You must be so busy. You got so much work. I'm not saying. I'm amazed by how productive you are.
Right.
Do you see your family? I'm like, he can't see much of his family.
Well, at the moment, I don't see loads of them because I'm doing this play. But normally I do.
What's the play you're doing?
Woman in Mind with Sheridan Smith. But normally I do see a fair bit. I don't feel as busy as I look. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because of some of it's controllable tapings.
Yeah,
it's like if you do a travel show or a documentary, that might be 3 trips of like a week or so each.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm imagining some of your tapings aren't.
Well, like Weakest Link, for example, that's 3 months of telly. I record that in 8 days.
Wow.
So.
Gutching.
Well, that's not what I mean. That was very HStikkytokky of you.
We were all thinking it. Well, it was more HStikkytokky of you, wasn't it?
Was it? What was?
Well, look how much... I record that in 8 days.
Hold on, we were...
Wasn't it? 3 months of telly, 8 days.
No.
I can teach you how to do the same.
No, come on.
It was.
The
That was like an
conversation naturally
infomercial.
moved there. I didn't say it apropos of nothing.
Yeah, but you tried to put it on me and I just gave it back.
No, the first... How have you found it? I mean, like Adam Buxton's quite pissed off with you, isn't he?
I don't think
Yeah,
so.
he is.
He was. There was a time when he was.
He's pissed off. Because
he's not.
You've got enough shit going on.
He's not. He pretends. That's a persona. That's a persona.
Well, he's fucking nailing it.
Well, and that's fine, by the way.
Yeah, it's fine for people.
I don't want him to be pissed off.
No.
So it's not fine. Not fine. What am I trying to say? I know early on it was confusing, and I get it. Like, I'd be pissed off. I'm pissed off for him. How dare I? What can we do? He's my inspiration in a way. Not in a way. He was my inspiration, and in fact, it was by going on his podcast.
That's nice.
Is it?
Well, by going on his podcast.
It was going on his podcast. Kind of
gave you the idea to do your own one.
It felt like it.
Sweet.
Kind of. Doesn't sound like.
No, it sounds horrible.
Does it? I can't tell. I'm road testing a few different responses to that question. You can choose the one that makes me sound best. I'm still worrying about the remark after the Ed Sheeran comment.
Why?
When I went, oh.
I loved it. It's great.
All right.
Yeah, it's one of my favourite things you've ever done.
With Adam, when I went on his podcast, I was like, opened the door to me thinking like, oh, truthfully, I'd be out and about having just completed a documentary that I'd be very proud of about brain injury clinics in Liverpool or, I don't know, heroin use in Appalachia. And I'd go out and people go like, oh, Louis, I love that thing you did with Adam where you talked about what it was like at school. Like I was getting more feedback.
Right. The people, we call it, my agent and I call this the people in the street test, which is very root one name. But the point is that, you think something's going big or whatever, and then it's often, what do the most people come up and just talk to you about? And
they seem to connect with the fact, all the things I grew up, certainly in my early 20s, the big things were shows like, for a comedy snob such as myself at the time, things like Brass Eye, and then later on Ali G, and that feeling of like, oh, you got to hold your real self back. You can't play the game. Preserve a mystery around who you really are. Don't turn up for any show business events because that's death. That's corrupt. And I think I, as a result, turned lots of things down. Probably that was good in a way, but I would have resisted it, lifting the lid on my life. And then I'm on Adam's show, and because it's Adam, and we were at school together, we go way back, he'd say, oh, do you remember that thing when we were 15? Or what was it like? Or what was your first snog? Or talk about family life? Or what's the worst holiday you've ever had with the kids? And I feel it was bad manners to not answer. And then people seemed to like it. And so I was like, oh, I actually can just talk about whatever. And no one, it's quite nice.
So rather than just sort of enjoying it on Adam's, you decided to set up your own?
Basically. Yeah. I took it somewhere else.
That makes sense. Good for you. Now, the first...
I'm trying to figure out whether I feel judged.
I'm really winding you up.
No, I like it. I like it. That is basically what happened.
Yeah.
But Yeah, that is what happened.
Yeah, okay. Good.
I'm sitting with that.
Yeah, we can both sit with it for a moment if you like.
Should we talk about hip hop?
We can do. The first guest of the run, Boris Becker. How was he?
Really good.
Yeah.
I love it when you talk to people who you remember as a civilian early in life, just looking at them and think like, when Becker won Wimbledon, it was 1985. I was 15 years old, and it was a huge moment in the culture. Like this 17-year-old boy had won Wimbledon. Anyway, fast forward, whatever it is, 30 or 40 years. And there I am in Milan, where he lives, having come out of prison. He was in Wandsworth and then another prison. Kind of his reputation in shreds, piecing himself back together. Sits down and out it comes. All of it. All of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know all of it, a lot of it. It was a great chat. He did me the honour of speaking to me. He said, afterwards we went out for a drink. He said, I didn't want to do Piers Morgan. I'm not quite nailing the accent. I can't remember why. But it's just that thing of mixing it up, talking to people from different walks of life. Each time it's someone who's like, comedians are fun because you're going to get a great chat. In a way, the challenge is getting really strong conversations from non-comedians.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
I've noticed that
they always do well as well.
What the
numbers? If you look at the numbers,
yeah,
you're James
for comedians,
Acaster, you're on Spotify. Yeah, like James Acaster got 500,000 for you.
Yes, yeah.
Did you notice that?
No, but these guys tell me the stuff.
Do you not worry about the numbers?
No,
I probably shouldn't. That's healthy.
How much do you worry about it? I mean, when they tell me good things,
more than I should. I don't worry about it, but I think about it, and it's like, why even think about it? Because actually, it's either good or it's not.
Yeah, well,
it's like this: if you can reach one person,
what a waste of time.
That's the most dishonest brag ever, isn't it? If I could just reach one person,
if I could just open this up for one person, job's done. No, if the guys tell me that, like, good news about numbers, then I'm happy.
Yeah.
But I would never, ever look for the numbers.
No.
Ever. Ever.
Do you ever but if you open Spotify, the numbers are there.
I know. Yeah.
They're right there, staring you in the face.
But comedians are
not about the numbers.
Less interesting for you to interview, are they?
No,
you get
that wasn't the point.
No, but I'm asking as a
in
side
a way
point, as a sidebar.
They're easier.
Yeah, but that might not be good, right? You want to work for your meal.
Yeah, well, kind of. Like, in a weird way, if someone's a little bit less forthcoming, then you think, okay, now it's me trying to be a professional doing, and can I do this? And if you do, then you're like, oh yeah.
Have you encountered impossible nuts to crack?
No, but people in different, definitely not. And I don't want to segue from that into anyone. But no, athletes aren't entertainers, right?
No.
So in general, an athlete is likely to be. But there again, athletes do have amazing life stories, and they are who they are. They sort of, in a sense, have a persona that's real. Sometimes actors, because they're famous for speaking other people's words, I find more of a challenge.
Yeah.
One observation I'd make is it's amazing how many people you speak to who've got books out or memoirs, it turns out not only did they not write them, that's to be expected, but they didn't read them.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Right?
Yeah.
Or maybe can't remember them, but you say, like, you said in your book, and you said, I never said that. So you literally wrote that. How dare you remind me of this thing? Like, but you wrote a book and that's in it. Oh. I didn't write that part. When I interviewed Pete Doherty, I love talking to him, but I kept mentioning things that were in his book, and he goes, "Oh no, they got that wrong." I'm like, dude, it's your book.
The Armie Hammer, when he sort of that clip, I think that clip went massive, didn't it, of him sort of you ask him how it went, and then he was sort of pissed off.
He seemed a little bit, what's the word? Yeah.
I think you've got, I do think you are pretty You're really courageous, man.
Oh, I don't think so.
I
wish I were.
I do think you are. I think you don't.
I'm not at all.
You don't think, it might not feel like it, but as somebody watching and listening, you don't shy away from it. You're apologetic and you're really charming about it, but you still did it. You know?
I'd never do anything, I don't think, where I didn't feel some degree of discomfort. I think that's maybe what it is. Because I got into TV a little bit sideways, having thought I'd be writing for television, my dream was to be a sitcom writer.
Right.
This was the golden age of TV sitcoms in the early 90s. I was living in New York. Seinfeld was big, Frasier, The Simpsons, Larry Sanders, and I thought that's where it's at. This is like brilliant writing that's being consumed by millions of people in their front room. There's nothing pretentious about it. It's really smart. I want to be part of that. And then, long story short, didn't get hired on a sitcom and got offered off the back of the TV Nation segments I was doing, my own show, and felt, I know it sounds weird, but I really don't want to do my own show, like jumping around, like being a goofball on TV. And the only thing that made me, I suppose, not confident, because I wasn't that, but able to do it, was the idea that I'd be immersed in situations, it's not purely discomfort, but immersed in situations that I had a real interest in exploring, that involved me getting into scrapes. And even now, I mean, the only things that make sense for me are when, to your point, is it correct? It doesn't feel like I'm definitely, obviously not in a war zone or doing anything like this. There's amazing, courageous journalists who do that. But I do or I do feel that my job is to find it a bit difficult.
Yeah. And do you ever feel, when you've had an experience like that, do you ever think I could have nudged it more? Or
Of course. I sometimes nudge it too far. Maybe the Ed Sheeran joke.
I liked it.
Oh.
Yeah, it was good.
Was it?
It got a big reaction.
It felt like it actually was.
You were slightly reaching outside of off stump with that. But it worked. You got it away for a boundary, and now you're feeling guilty about it.
Did I?
Yeah.
I think sometimes I regret things. I feel like I look at old episodes of Weird Weekends, and I'm like, that's unkind. Or maybe more often, I look at things and think I could have turned it up a notch or two.
Right.
And when I look at, we grew up with people like Jeremy Paxman on TV.
Yeah.
Or at the other end of the spectrum, Jeremy Kyle, the two Jeremys, where it's this sort of like, how dare you? And you come on here. Do you know what I mean? And that's always felt to me anathema, like absolute, the opposite of what I'd be comfortable doing.
Yeah.
I don't quite know how people do that.
But also it's not conducive to getting something great out of the other person, is it?
It's conducive to something. Piers Morgan's got a bit of it as well.
Yeah, he loves
the
it.
ability to, because especially if it starts friendly and then you're going to make it really awkward, it creates a sense of drama and theatre. It doesn't always reveal very much, but it can do.
Yeah.
And in the Manosphere film, there's moments, the most revealing interview's probably halfway through, where I sit down with HStikkytokky and go like, why not just do things that are actually positive? And it sounds like the most basic, inane question imaginable. Like, why not he says, like, I just want to make money and I don't really care how I do it, is his line. And, he'll rip people off. If people are simps and they want to, that's their term, and they want to sign up to OnlyFans, he said, then I'm going to promote it. And that's on them. And I'm like, but you're literally pushing them into it. And so it's a very softball interview, but it kind of reveals how he thinks, because he's not under pressure. But then later on, there's the more fiery encounter at the very end. And there's times there where I think, like, should I have turned it up further? It's not a science, obviously. And in general, I think I worry sometimes that I suffer from being overly agreeable, that I could cultivate a little bit more... what is it? Sort of just sense of being comfortable with hostility.
Yeah, I mean, that'll be your perception of it, but
Yeah.
frequently I think you've sort of got it note perfect, really.
I appreciate it.
But you don't get a stick. You can't do.
Of course.
No way. There's not reviewers that don't like.
Of course.
No, there aren't.
I've had 1 stars many a time.
Not recently. You haven't.
I had one. I can't remember the last one.
There you go.
Definitely had one 2 years ago.
2 years ago, you had a 1 star.
2 or 3 years. Yeah, 1 star in the. I'm not going to say it. I don't even care, by the way. It's madness to think that you'll be loved by everyone. That's narcissism. How
Yeah,
dare
and
you not? How dare you not like me?
Yeah, it's a terrible target as well. But anyway, we're now going to play a little game.
But also, aren't 1 stars just for clicks anyway? Like, if someone gives it you a 1 star, not really reviewing it, they're just going
No.
for
Yeah, but they don't like it.
Sure.
No, if you've seen watching something, you don't. No, I'm not trying to. But
Go on.
you don't go. This is really brilliant. I'm going to give it a 1 star for clicks.
No, but he's right, though. The 1 star feels a bit like, really?
Yeah, 2 star. That's the shittest one, isn't it?
Do you think so? Yeah, maybe.
2 stars worse than 1 star.
Yeah, because 1 star says more about them.
Yeah.
Like, I was offended.
Yeah. Once again, I dragged myself in front of the screen to watch another hour of this man's bilge. Something like that.
Wasn't
I
that
imagine.
bad.
I don't know.
Wasn't that bad?
Right, we're going to play a game called Misquoted, Louis.
Okay.
Something you don't have to rely on because
Yeah.
you actually have intellectual and journalistic nous on your podcast. It's Misquoted. So we've got some quotes for you. You just have to tell me whether you
Whether I said
did say
them.
this or not. And then it leads to some sort of light chat. Here's your first one. Good luck to you. You listen to people on the radio and talk shows, and they specialise in certainty and outrage, and those are the parts of my personality I've attempted to weed out.
Oh, geez. I could have said that. I'll say yes. I don't remember saying it, but I think that's probably
You did say that. Gentleman's Journal. Year unknown, it says here. For some
Gentleman's
reason.
Journal.
Gentleman's Journal, GJ.
I've given, not quarterly, like GJ. I was GJ Man of the Year. No, I wasn't. That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Weed out. I love that. It's a gardening metaphor. Cultivate your garden. I like to approach my personality like a well-tended herbaceous border.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm
That
just
makes
trying
sense.
to roll with it.
Yeah, no, it's good. I do agree with you about the certainty thing. And
What was the
outrageous.
quote again at the end?
You listen to people on the radio and talk shows, and they specialise. I'm going to sort of say it with a bit of venom now. You listen to people on the radio and talk shows, and they specialise in certainty and outrage. And those are the parts of my personality I've attempted to weed out.
Well, I haven't really tried to weed them out, truthfully. Like they're never especially there. But then sometimes you think, oh, I should be certain. And you have to remind yourself, no, you don't actually need to be. I mean, I think. And then in terms of like outrage, if you're outraged by something, it's worth checking in with yourself. Like
Yeah.
what part of you is offended and is it the best part?
Are you ever outraged by anything?
Yes, I would think so. Yeah, I am. Yeah. Yeah, you can't not be outraged by anything, but that's going to kill the vibe if we talk about it.
Next one. Well done. You 1 for 1.
Okay.
Or are you? Did you get that right?
I
you
did, yeah.
okay. All right. You feel like they're almost role-playing as alphas, unlike me, a legit high-value male.
I think I like to think I would have said that ironically.
You actually said it's sort of partly true. You said it. You
Now
said
I'm outraged.
You said it, everything apart from a legit high-value male.
Did I not? But that's what makes it funny. I wish I'd said that. I'll say that in my
You
next
said
interview.
you feel like they're almost role-playing as alphas when you were talking about Myron Gaines,
Yeah.
who you talked on
Unlike me, a legit high-value male.
that we've added that.
I like that you've added it. I'd like to say that irony is important and playfulness.
Okay, great. But do you think so? Myron Gaines, to me, the difference between someone, and I don't want to give away everything from the show before people watch it, but Myron Gaines to me more so than maybe Ed Matthews or HS.
Myron Gaines, an American masculinist influencer, probably the most extreme and troubling individual in the program.
But he's playing a part, right? Isn't he?
Yes, but he also believes most of the things that he's saying, I think.
Well, that's slightly more depressing then.
Yeah.
Okay, here's your next one. Really good work so far, by the way.
Thank you. But I've only got, I'm 50-50.
Yeah. So I'm not really good at sort of all right. I got the nickname Posh Claude because I was trying so hard to be posh.
Yeah, that's true. Now you're bringing back real memories. That was when I started at a prep school in southwest London, having been to a state primary, and it was the first time I'd worn a school uniform, and I was very anxious about fitting in. So I found myself, without really realising it, enunciating more. And then the other kids at the prep school started calling me Posh Claude. And that was odd. I was like, I was the least posh one there at that point, I would have thought. Trying to fit in.
Yeah.
But that's the agreeableness.
But you went.
I was going deep cover.
How posh do you feel now?
I feel quite normal, I think. What does it even mean? I think I feel like a normal person, but then sometimes I see myself or I hear impressions and I'm like, oh yeah, look at that posh git. Kind of. Like, do you know what I mean? But I try not to beat myself up. I am who I am. My wife pulls me up about it sometimes. She's more posh than I am.
Right.
By the way.
But pulls you up about your...
Well, she'll sometimes impersonate me like I'm sort of this Prince Charles figure stumbling through, like, oh yes, what do they call this? Fish and chips. Oh, and this lovely mushy peas over here. You know what I mean? I don't know where that came from. But you know what I mean? Like a bit like...
Yeah.
Oh, those houses are so small. How could one live? Too much. I mean, that's the thing. She was like, that's not funny though, because she'd probably. I'm just in my head. I feel quite normal on the inside. Anytime someone says you don't seem normal or oh he's quirky, I remember when I first had my show on the TV and I go out and about. And I was traveling with like a PR person, and they go, "Yeah, Louis is in the back. Yeah, everything's fine." And they'd not met me before. They'd be like, "Yeah, no, do you know what? He's just like he is on the shows. Yeah, it's very funny. Yeah, he really is like that." And I'm like that? Like what? Do you know what I mean? Well, I'm a normal person. It's odd though, isn't it?
It is odd. Yeah.
I feel very normal, so I don't feel posh or non-posh. Or
No.
When I go up north, I feel quite southern.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll allow that.
Yeah, no, you are southern. I would say.
You know what I
that,
mean?
But you're just a normal guy.
When I go to Scotland, I feel a bit English.
Makes sense.
Right?
That
It's all
makes
about
sense.
context.
Absolutely. You're so right. But you seem like such a normal Don. Okay, here's your next one. It's a bit like warfare at times, the feelings of deprivation and confusion.
I've got nothing on that. No, I'm going to say that. I don't think that was me.
It was you.
Was it? What was I talking about?
Fatherhood.
Yeah, deprivation. Well, sleep deprivation.
Yes.
I hope I wasn't talking about the kids.
No, you're talking about
They
yourself.
feel so deprived and confused. Dad, why are we outside?
Where are you? We're so
I think I was talking
hungry.
about myself.
Yeah, and you feel like you then go on to say you feel like a failure a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's definitely the case.
Yeah.
It's a controlled, but in that way, it's a helpful exercise in acclimatizing yourself with failure, becoming comfortable with fail. To quote Beckett, fail again, fail better, right? To quote Samuel Beckett. And it's that feeling of like, oh, I'm never going to, because you start out thinking, I'm going to be the best dad in the world. There'll never have been a dad who's as fun as me. Yeah. I'm going to be the ultimate parent. I'm going to disrupt all those hierarchies of parenting. We can do whatever. And then, and you feel like you're faking it for a long time. Do you not find, like, in the early days, you're like, I'm just...
I remember, I have a really clear memory of walking around a farm park with Lisa and the kids and looking at other parents and thinking, I wonder if they feel like they're frauds as well. Because everybody else sort of looks so comfortable in their roles. Yeah. And I just thought, I'm just playing it. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But it turns out everybody feels like that.
And then after a while, you're just so tired or so used to it, inured, that you forget about that and you're just getting on with it. It's hard. The crazy thing is how quickly things pass as well. Like, then, as I said, the youngest is 11 now, but you forget being in the war zone. Yeah. When it's happening, you're like, oh my God, no one's, everyone, you look around at people like, if everyone was a baby and their parents went through this extraordinary period, intense period of emotional ups and downs, sleep deprivation, How is everyone alive?
That's what exactly. It's so weird you've said that. I remember like being up with our eldest in the middle of the night, and I remember saying to Lisa, "Why don't people talk more about how hard this?
Yeah.
Everybody that's had a kid can't have gone through this. This is horrific. You sort of can't believe how difficult and traumatic it is, right?
Yeah.
And also the other thing that I found was, it opens up this kind of worry that you have about your children, and worrying about their health, how they're going to get on socially, all of these things. There's a time when, I've sort of come to terms with it now, but there was a time when the worry about my kids, I felt was so extreme that it almost outweighed the positives of having children. Do you know what I mean? So I can't deal with how many things I feel anxious about with regards to the children. But you get over it.
Yeah, I never had that. No, I did worry. I didn't find it wasn't wasn't one of those people like they're going to get kidnapped or a man's going to snatch them from outside the shop. It's like, I wish. No, too dark?
No, not too dark. Here's your last quote. The best part of the interview is afterwards when they want to swap numbers. Did you say that?
I definitely didn't say that. No, I wouldn't say that. Who? But I'm curious who actually said that.
Nobody said that. We made it up. In fact, you did. You said the best part of the interview is often when people end the interview. Anytime anyone rips off their mic or puts their hand over the lens, you're thinking, this is going in.
Definitely. Not true for podcasts.
No.
Right?
That's the
different vibe.
You've not had a dramatic ending to a podcast, have you?
No. That would be so awkward. But that's one of the strengths and limitations of the form, right? Is that you're not likely to say something so challenging that you think they're going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about? That is an offensive question. In fact, this is bullshit, man. I'm out of here.
You can't prod too much on a podcast. You just can't, can you?
Unless it's a remote podcast. Part of the reason the Armie Hammer one possibly was sailed a tiny bit closer to the wind was it was remote. So if it got awkward, or if it got so awkward that it would end the interview, there wouldn't be that, okay, well, here's the way out of the building and here's your coat. Do you know what I mean? It would just be like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
And then standing up like, are you sure you don't want to continue? Look, why don't we just give it another go? Yeah. And I tell you what, why don't we try again? You know what I mean? All those sort of saving the interview stylings. Yeah. It was just, by the way, the interview didn't end prematurely, but if it's a different energy when it's remote. Do you do any remote recording?
We haven't done so far
avoid
for this.
It properly.
No, yeah. But when we do, I'm going to go and fucking 2-footed.
You go in there big time.
Absolute smash.
Windmilling in. Yeah, I think. But on location, like a big life lesson. This could be like one of those podcast where we give people lessons for life, and one of them is if you are ever chased down by a camera crew and they stick a camera in your face, don't put your hand over the lens and push it away, because that's definitely going in whatever they're doing. Yeah. It looks aggressive and shady. Just smile.
It's good. It's good advice.
Yeah,
really good advice.
If it happens to you.
Yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld used to say, if you're chased by paparazzi, always wear the same clothes.
So they can't date the thing?
Yeah, they're like, we've got this. No, it isn't. This one's from yesterday. Like, he's wearing the same clothes.
I mean, that feels sort of quite extreme, doesn't it? We're almost at the end of the interview. No. And you've been wonderful. Best guest we've ever had?
Wow.
Really? Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Definitely.
Yeah. Now,
thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on. Can we just briefly, before we do our final question, are you listening to hip hop any hip hop at the moment?
I am. But I'm doing it very haphazardly.
Okay.
So it's more a case of whatever comes on. SD Kid.
Yeah.
I don't know if you'd call it hip hop, but Fake Mink. I mean, it's sort of in that.
Yeah.
New sounds.
This is very young people music. Yeah.
Well, that's where my recommendations come from my kids.
Right.
So it skews young. And then just whatever comes on.
I'd be very interested to know what you thought of the. I don't know if you listened to it. Have you listened to the new J. Cole album?
No. Recommendo?
That is a Romy recommend right there.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, it's 2 hours long, it's a big meal, but it's amazing. I think it's amazing.
It's amazing that It's been so long since I listened to a hip hop album or any album.
Yeah.
Like, let's put on an album. I just tend to play whatever spits out of the algorithm and then slap it on a playlist.
Yeah.
Do you actually I'm going to sit down and
It
do
depends
the
on
album?
what it is. I think I feel like some artists are singles artists and some artists are album artists. But I think J. Cole, this album is, he's saying it's his last thing he ever does. He's been working up to making a record of this, this kind of statement album, and now he's done. So I feel like you kind of have to listen to the whole thing. Musicians often get very depressed, don't they, about when a new album comes out. Have you seen that meme of like somebody just going through an album that somebody spent months in the studio working on, and then they start the first track, skip it to the middle, and they go, yeah, that's all right. Then they do the second one, to sort of to listen to art or to experience art like that is. But the J. Cole album is it's a headphones album. I would sit down if you've got a bit of time and just take it in.
Yeah, I when I'm cycling around, you're not supposed to, and I don't recommend it.
No, and in fact, he condemns it.
And don't do it. Listen to an album on your bike is what you shouldn't do.
Okay, Louis, last thing. You've been wonderful, genuinely wonderful.
I appreciate
it's a real
that.
honour to talk to you.
There's so much in my head. I loved it. You're a good interviewer. Keep auditioning. You will get there. This is your year. I can feel it.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have you got anything that you've never said before, exclusive, something that we could kind of throw in the mix?
I did bring the letter that I wrote to Hip Hop Connection when I was
Have you brought that with
20
you?
years old, yeah.
Have you got it with you?
Yeah, it's in my bag.
Can we
Yeah,
can we
we
see
can dig it out if you want.
Can we dig it out? That'd be amazing.
It might feel too... I wasn't going to mention it because it felt too random, but I did bring it.
No, because you were the only...
Did I mention it before?
No, but we did the hip-hop podcast.
This is for the
didn't we?
love of hip-hop, right?
But do you remember when
What
you...
show is this?
Louis, we've asked you for an...
Someone sent me this because I mentioned it a few times in interviews and then in my book, Got to Get Through This, available on Amazon.
Wow. Right to the very end. You and I are both big hip-hop fans, and we're both of an elite group of people that regularly read Hip Hop Connection.
Yeah.
And
From the very first issue.
Yeah, and even more elite than that, we are both people that have written into
Did
Hip Hop
you write
Connection.
in?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Have
It's
we got
really
your
embarrassing.
letter?
Do you know what I can't find a record of it. I wrote in, this is so embarrassing, I wrote in to say that I didn't think that Dr. Dre's The Chronic was very good.
That's bad. Why did you do that?
Because, can I tell you why? I tell you why.
People can judge which is worse, your one or my one, because my one's pretty bad.
Because I was on such an East Coast hip hop.
Right, you were a
fix.
purist.
And then when people started saying this Dre album was really great, I just couldn't handle it, And I loved Ice Cube.
That would have been 2000? No, what year was The Chronic
That was
before
90...
that? I'm thinking of Dre 2000.
Yeah, 92, 92,
way
91,
earlier.
92. Okay, good luck. This is your letter.
This was my letter to Hip Hop Connection. I start with some softener, so you have to wait for the main courses towards the end.
Dear
Hip Hop Connection.
What's your name in this, by the way?
King Louis, Oxford. That was my handle.
Yeah, go on.
Some praises in order for a pace-in February issue of HHC. I don't even know. Was that slang at the time?
I've never heard that used in any context.
Oh, jeez. This is worse than I thought. It's good to see how far advanced groups like the JBs and Quest are in terms of positivity and awareness.
Good, yeah.
Is it good?
Well, it's good. You're right. You're right. You're showing love
because
you're showing love to the native tongues movement.
My imprimatur of their Afrocentricity is so needed. Right? We need more awareness, says Louis, King Louis from Oxford. The clue is in the name. Plus, their music is dope. Oh, jeez. As for rap, I'm regretting doing this. As for rap in the 90s, these guys point the way. MC Hammer, take note. There are better ways of edifying your listeners than by showing them you own 4 cars.
What? You didn't say edifying.
I did.
In the same letter that you said pacing.
Pacing, yeah. It's pacing and edifying. Apostrophe. But what's all this English musical... Now I'm getting down to business. But what's all this English musical patriotism bullshit? Anyone who's down for a She-Rockers LP before a PE, Public Enemy LP, needs their head examined. Fans of English rap are always militantly defensive about their music. All this proves is they've got a chip on their shoulder. If local hip-hop was any good, it would speak for itself. Let's face it, English rap sucks.
Oh!
So I put that in and I was like, it was published. I was like, well, that's kind of cool, I guess. And then fast forward 2 issues.
Yeah.
And the responses appear. Well, King Louis, we hope you're reading this. You may have noticed that no one has agreed with you. Oh, this is the follow-on. So, furthermore, these are a mere sample of the sackloads of mail received that rally against your allegations.
Hold on, is that from HHC that comment?
Yeah. Okay, I should start with the reply. So here are the replies.
Fucking hell.
I mean, how many do we need to do?
2?
Well, here's one. Okay. In response to King Louis, such a dope name. Shame about you being such a fucker. You obviously know nothing about real rap. You want to listen to some local homeboys and fly girls, but living in that university town, it might be a bit hard. We think you should write back and apologise to all the English groups you've put down. You are the sort of dick we can do without. MC Fantaze and DJ Pentac in Manchester. Then MC Fuse in Leighton Buzzard said, I'm writing in response to some turnip from Oxford called King Louis. I was ashamed to see someone from the UK diss in their home country scene. If you like American rap so much, why don't you do us all a favour and buy yourself a one-way ticket to the USA?
That wasn't the end of the sentence I was expecting.
No. The same goes for anyone else who shares His Royal Highness's attitude to UK rap. Face facts, kid, the only thing that sucks in the UK is you. I mean, and they go on and on.
Holy shit.
I could hear one more.
Should we do another one?
Yeah, go on.
With reference to the April edition of HHC, someone needs schooling around here. Methinks it's limp dick King Louis. English rap doesn't suck, and it ain't British patriotism, my brother. It's support for the very cause that's brought US rap to its present stature. Okay, you say loyal British fans have a chip on their shoulder. I don't think so. Support's what it's all about. Without that, the likes of Hijack, Duke, MC Mello, Blade, Richie Rich, etc. would not have made the success they have today. Anyway, let the sales tell the story, because there ain't nobody that's going to buy a record that sucks, right?
Oh, that's quite a quizzical end.
Wire up, it's negative. Oh, wise up, sorry, with a Z. Wise up, it's negativity that's keeping us down, not lack of talent. The voice of rap is for those who listen, and obviously, you ain't listening. ADM, South London. And then, well, King Louis, we hope you're reading this. You may have noticed that no one has agreed with you. Furthermore, these are a mere sample of the sackloads of mail received that rally against your allegations. Remember, keep an open mind, or else. Oh. It actually ended with a threat.
Bloody hell.
So,
how did you feel about that when that all happened?
Kind of thrilled. Yeah,
I don't think you were saying loads wrong there, actually. Yeah, I don't.
Do you remember those artists?
Hijack, yeah.
Hijack.
MC Mello.
What was Hijack had a hit? What was it? Do you remember?
They did Horns of Jericho.
Horns of Jericho, which was actually quite a good track, wasn't it?
Yeah, the whole. I mean, didn't Ice-T sign them to Rhyme Syndicate for a while?
MC Duke, I remember.
Yeah, MC Duke. Mello's Gone Crazy. That was a great tune by MC Mello.
Another one remembers Hijack. Demon Boys get mentioned elsewhere.
Demon Boys are great.
I had that album.
Yeah, so actually, fuck you, King Louis.
Yeah, fuck King Louis, man. I think I was being a little harsh. Fast forward 20 years, how much it changed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Isn't that crazy, though? Yeah. It was definitely a nascent scene and hadn't reached its full potential.
Well, I think
I helped.
I do think you helped.
I think probably if you reached out to those artists, a lot of them would say, we were kind of in second gear, and then we saw a letter in Hip Hop Connection, and we pulled our fingers out.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And can I just say, on behalf of the UK hip hop scene,
thank you.
And this is one of the main reasons that we wanted to get you on. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Give it up for Louis Theroux!
From one limp dick to another. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Romesh Ranganathan Show. I've been told that some of you are watching this, enjoying it, wallowing in it, but you still haven't subscribed. That's mad behaviour. You're going to miss episodes. Very silly. So follow and subscribe to the Romesh Ranganathan Show on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. We drop new episodes every Monday and Thursday. On Monday, I'm here with amazing guests talking about their career, what they're up to, having a laugh with them. And then on Thursdays, I'm joined by my mum, widely regarded as the audience's favourite Ranganathan. And we answer your questions, your stories, and your family dilemmas. So I'll see you on Thursday when I'm back here with my mum, Shanthi. Send your questions and stories to podcast@rangabee.com. Voice note or text on 07731 623 355. We genuinely love hearing from you, and there's a good chance you'll hear yourself on the show. See you next time.